Good evening. Good evening. Hello. Hello. JMC. Hello, sir. How are you doing today? Tonight, I guess. Thank you for popping in. Appreciate you. This is Off the Rails. I am your conductor, Woo Woo J Train, aka Jason. I was requested to utilize more train puns, so that's what's going to happen tonight. And you know, it's what the people want, or maybe just one person. I don't know. Anyway, uh, about 40, 41 dingers in, planning on doing 100-ish. Just kind of see how the rest of the spring goes. But spring training has officially started, which is pretty awesome. The first game is tomorrow, I think, right? Dodgers and somebody. I don't know. So it's kind of wild that we're already here. And there are still numerous free agents, big free agents that haven't been signed, which is pretty wild to me. But, Scott Boras is going to do Scott Boras things. So maybe eventually, guys like Matt Chapman, Blake Snell, and Cody Bellinger, all these dudes will actually get signed. I saw a tweet with one of the teams in Japan was like trying to lure Cody Bellinger. Like, could you imagine that? If Cody Bellinger just signs like a 1-year deal in Japan for an absurd amount of money and is just like not here, that'd be pretty crazy. Sincerely doubt that that's going to happen. Pretty much a non-zero or a dead zero chance that that's going to happen. But I just kind of saw it and chuckled. Billy Jones is in the house. Hello, Billy. Thank you. JMC. Yeah, if he goes to Japan, you have some dead roster spots. I don't think I've clicked his name a single time this year. So if he goes to Japan, like, it doesn't affect me at all. But that would be insane. Like, that would be just completely and totally off the wall bananas. So don't think that's gonna happen, but I just chuckled a little bit when I saw it. So tonight we're gonna hop into one dinger. I'm just gonna do one this evening. I did two a couple times ago, and that was fine. It's a little difficult to do two. And I am standing. So for those in the Discord, I am drafting while standing. So there you go. I'll join the draft here in a couple minutes. I'll let see if we get a couple more people maybe to trickle in. But Billy Jones here with the Langford no matter what. Yeah, I've been pretty much out on all these rookies for a minute, but I am starting to force in more Wyatt Langford. His biceps are just so large; it's hard to look away. But I obviously we don't know if he's going to break the break camp with the team. We'll see what happens, but the guy's upside is massive, and we will look at like who could be this year's Corbin Carroll or whatever. We're always looking for this year's whoever, right? But when you look at like a rookie who could just absolutely freaking smash this year, Wyatt Langford's like at the top of the list. Evan Carter's getting some love. Jackson Chourio is going to be around. Be very interested to see what the Brewers do with Jackson Chourio. I would assume that they're going to have him just start on the major league roster. But the kid's 19, and I don't think he played very much, if at all, in AAA. Probably a little bit. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with him. So I'm going to go ahead and queue up a draft here. So let's do this. I know there's a delay, so I'll wait a sec. And then we'll hit it. So this is going to be a dinger we're entering. And we need 3 more. It's kind of perfect, actually. So 3 more people to hop in. That would be awesome. If you want to draft along. It's always fun when we have people in the chat doing the draft too. kind of slowed down my dinger entries over the last like week or two. Because I've done so many, like for me, I've done so many drafts already that kind of want to wait for a little more news to like fully commit to finishing off my entries. Billy's at 4 out of 31 Langford's not heavily in, but Zip's playing time projection has me reconsidering if I need to target him. Yeah, I'm not going to have a ton of him. I'm not going to be like our good friend Brad, who has a lot of him. But I definitely want to incorporate because I was basically at 0. So I'd like to be, I probably won't be even with the field unless I really go all in, but I haven't really decided yet. We'll see. It's just gonna take like 2 spring training games where he just hits monstrous moonshots for his stock to rise exponentially. So I want to get ahead of that. But then there's also the possibility that like he somehow struggles in spring and people are like, oh, this guy's not going to break with camp, and then he drops. So just kind of guessing on what his ADP adjustment is going to be. So we'll see what happens in spring, but I'll get a little bit of him. Another guy that I don't have much of right now that I'm trying to force in. Real quick, let me jump to Billy's comment here. Zips has 139 games and 599 plate appearances and leading the league in doubles. I mean, if that's true, then we have to really, like, if that's what winds up happening, we've got to go pretty hard on him. It would appear that I have a pretty late pick here, so got a few names recognized in here, which is cool. T-Bear, Terrence is in the draft. JMC is in. Shimmy Cocoa Pop. I don't remember what his name is here on the YouTubes, but he stopped by a couple streams ago, which I always appreciate. So the 11th pick. The last 5 dingers I've done have either been the 101 or like 11, 12. You can't get. Oh, that's a lie. I had 7 earlier today. Anyway, the back of the draft is where I kind of like to get a little weird. So this might be a funky little team here. We'll see what happens. If that's what a reputable projection source thinks is median projection is ADP is flat out wrong. You're 100% correct. If that's his median projection, we're way too low on him. There you are, Alan. There's my guy, Shimmy Cocoa Pop. It's a great name, by the way. I love it. He's in from the 2-hole. He goes Soto over Judge. Are you scared of the toe, Alan? Are you scared of Judge? Does Aaron Judge really need that toe? Like I know it's a ridiculous question to ask. I'm kind of kidding, but like, does he really need that toe? You just like remove it or something. Because if he's going to have to manage his toe the rest of his career, then his toe's got to go. So I know it's ridiculous to say, but I'm halfway serious. So we've got a pretty normal start here. I mean, Acuna's got to be the 101. Like, if you're in the 1 hole and you don't draft Ronald Acuna, I question your sanity. A little update for my little underdog profile here from last stream. I got a badge finally. So, I mean, all that means is I've done a few drafts. I think is the black badge 500. I think it's 500 total. So, that's mostly best ball stuff. I did a few dailies last year, and I'll probably do a few MLB dailies this year too. I just like, I've done MLB dailies for a while on a different site, and it's just kind of it was a difficult adjustment for me to get out of that line of thinking to this format where you're doing a snake draft, but right. Speculated correctly with our guy Shimmy. Was Judge over Soto until that news wasn't married to that take, so pretty easy to pivot. I get it. Hopefully his toe isn't that big of a deal. So we shall see. I lucked my way into Kyle Tucker at the 11, so I'm happy about that. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and we'll see what our 12 hole decides to do here. I don't have much Kyle Tucker this year, and I really don't like that. But I've been prioritizing Jordan over him. Let's just do Tucker Olson to start. There we go. I like that. See if I can set myself up a little stack here in a bit. So we'll pull up the board, keep it here. Very common start with the run at outfield. Nothing new. It's like JMC and Shimmy are struggling with the lack of NBA slates. They're coming back, guys. It's all right. Everything will be fine. I think I've done like 1 or 2 NBA dailies, like just hopped in on a Badge Bros stream. I was like, what the hell? Might as well just give it a shot. Didn't go great. Did not go great. I have no idea what I'm doing in the NBA streets, but you know, it's fun to participate sometimes. Somebody's got to pay the rake. Might as well be me, right? Or something. I don't know. T-Bear starting with the Jordan Alvarez, Spencer Strider. I really like that pairing. I've been doing that a little bit lately. And then Cole at 17. I don't. Oh man, the only time that I've drafted Cole this year is when I have the 12, and I've paired Strider and Cole together. I haven't done that in a dinger. I did that in the bullpen, but just based on where Garrett Cole falls in ADP, and you know what I'm looking to get in that range, I want an elite infielder or an elite outfielder. Garrett's just not. He's just not making the cut for me at that price. Now, obviously, he's awesome and has been awesome the last 2 years, but I can't do it. So it'll be pretty much a full fade for me of Garrett Cole, and hopefully that doesn't bury me. But only time will tell. JMC going with the Ohtani Trout combination. I really, really like that. That's such a fun. James he asks, how much Trout is too much Trout in the portfolio? The limit does not exist. To quote the most masculine of movies, Mean Girls. I look, when we get to the end of the year, we look back. If Mike Trout stays healthy, that's why he's there. We can't trust him to stay healthy and play the whole year, which is very, very, very unfortunate. But if he can stay healthy, we're going to look back and we're going to say, how did we allow him to go in the late 20s or the early 20s, early to mid 20s? Brad is late. Did he miss bicep? No, you have not missed bicep talk. I was going to save it until your arrival. Actually, I might have mentioned biceps. I think I might have. Delete the VOD. There's no evidence. Maybe I alluded to the talk of biceps. But we did talk about Wyatt Langford quite a bit. So if you want to scroll up in the chat, me and Billy were talking about him. His ZiPS projection is apparently very, very good. Lots and lots of doubles. We like doubles in this format. We like home runs more, but he can also hit home runs. And you'll be proud to know, Brad, I am definitely going to be getting to more Langford. I'm so far behind that I don't know if I'll get like over double-digit ownership. If I do, it'll probably top out at like, 15%. Then that's just because I've done so many drafts without him that it's going to be hard for me to catch up to that number. But once I get him in my once I get him in my portfolio, then you'll know that I like money. So, all right, we are about to come up on the clock. Let's pull up the board of who's available. And let's see what our guy does. He goes with Ellie. I'm going to go ahead and I think this is kind of a, chalky-ish pairing, but I'm trying to get a little more Michael Harris. I don't have much Michael Harris right now. I do think he's a little too expensive, but the outfield scarcity coupled with, stacking with Matt Olson, I feel like that was the right thing to do there. And then we'll see what our 12 hole does. I'm thinking I might just do the full Atlanta stack here. There's worse teams to stack than the Braves, that's for sure. If I don't get Albies, I'll get Reynolds. I keep forgetting to reset my clock thing. So let's do, are Albies and Harris like inversely correlated at all? Let's just do it. Let's just do the stack and we'll see what happens. I asked that question because, Albies is going to bat second, more than likely. And we think Harris is going to bat ninth, which isn't great. But I don't know. I guess they could switch some things up. But getting the Atlanta stack there with Kyle Tucker feels pretty good. That's also kind of I don't know, a leverage play for me with my own exposures. I don't have too much Albies. I have quite a bit of Brian Reynolds. So just trying to build this team a little bit differently. Our 12 hole, I saw he was on auto draft. I think he's got ranks uploaded though, but he's got a 4 infield start, which is always an interesting way to go. T-Bear gets Nolan Jones and Jose Altuve. Dax with Jordan. I like that pairing a lot. Got some interesting teams so far. JMC is just out here like going for the jugular with the Ohtani Trout Robert start. I have one of those as well, my friend. That's that feels pretty good. See what he does here. Guessing infielder, maybe. Yep, Bo Bichette. Cool. Yeah, and here's Langford Zip's projections. So 599 plate appearances, 41 doubles, 24 home runs, 98 RBIs, and a 324 OBP. That's pretty solid. Probably related to his biceps, Brad. More than likely. Positively correlated. More biceps means more doubles. Yeah, that guy looks like he's going to be a problem for a long time. Langford is he is a large gentleman. That Texas offense is going to be awesome. I'm hoping that Corey Seager doesn't miss too much time. That would be unfortunate. I'm still drafting him in this format. Even if he misses like the first week or two, I don't really care about that. I should be able to build a team that can withstand not having Corey Seager for a week or two. Brad's also enamored with the legs on Wyatt Langford. Yeah, trees. Bicep girth to barrel rate and exit velo are undeniably correlated. Yeah, he's a physical specimen, that's for sure. Reminds me of like, we always kind of oohed and awed at Giancarlo Stanton when he was, healthy and good and completely and totally massive. Wyatt's always good for some good conversations here in the best ball streets and the Discord, of course. If you ever want to get Brad going, just say something negative about Wyatt. He will. His hair will just spontaneously combust into flames. It's really funny to watch. All right, let's pull up. We got the board. I'll still wait a little bit. Probably, I really like when I start 0-2-2, especially like with the stack I've got going on. I really like targeting. If I can get another outfielder, great. But I like starting my pitching here. Kodai Senga, he's tired. His arm is tired for some reason, so that's not fun. So he's going to drop. It'll be interesting to see how far he drops. Hopefully he's fine. I really like Kodai Senga this year. His strikeout stuff's crazy. I feel like he's priced appropriately. Jazz goes, and that's who I was going to take. So I'm going to capitulate to the masses, and no, I'm not because George Kirby's gone. I'm in shambles. Let's just do Manny Machado. Just kind of count on a bounce back season for him. I don't have much of him, so I feel fine taking him in that spot. And then I think, I mean, let's just fully commit to the Atlanta bit and go with Marcell Ozuna. So I've kind of got like a Atlanta onslaught thing going on here. Currently at a 0-3-3 build, so no pitchers. But Matt Olson, Ozzie Albies with Manny Machado, and then the outfield is Kyle Tucker, Michael Harris, and Marcell Ozuna. So we've got a nice Atlanta stack going. It's one way to do it. I'm going to have to get moving on pitcher, though. I don't want to fall too far behind there. Can you actually talk on thoughts of 5 outfield? Do you think it's poor choice, etc.? Just overall opinion. And are you strictly normal base builds? No, I'm not. Most of mine are 6-7-7, 7-6-7, 7-6, 7-7-6, whatever. I don't know. 6s and 7s are where I live. But I kind of love 5 outfield builds, especially if if you get a couple of ADP values, you get a couple of guys that drop, and you start like 4 of your first 5 picks are outfielders. I just say commit to the bit. Assume that team is correct. Roll with 5 outfielders. If I'm gonna do 5 outfielders, I'm probably gonna lead towards kind of Matt hit on it here. I think there are plenty of pitchers, no worries. So maybe gonna do a 5 outfield build. My preference is to probably get like 3 or 4 infielders too, like just completely load up on bats, and then take my first pitcher in like the maybe 9th or 10th round, and then just try to catch up on pitching through volume. So I definitely like 5 outfield builds. I like 5 outfield builds more than 5 infield builds, because the data from last year showed that in every week except for the first week of the season, the flex position was an infielder. So you were getting 4 infielder scores. So I think it's more important to have, more infielders than outfielders. I don't think I have a single build that's got 8 outfielders in it. That feels like a waste. 7 is about as high as I go. 6 is kind of my sweet spot for outfield. But I love doing these funky builds. Like I've got, I guess 6-8-6 isn't really that funky, but I've built a couple of 6-8-6s lately. So if you're new to this, if you're watching this for the first time, you have no idea what I'm talking about. When I say 6-8-6 build, I mean 6 pitchers, 8 infielders, and 6 outfielders. So comprising your roster of players like that. If done correctly, like I really, really like 6-8-6 builds. They feel really, really fun. It requires either an anchor infielder and then waiting until you run, basically run the table at the end of the draft with 7 straight so you can load up on pitching and load up on outfield. That kind of feels right. But the 6.86s they're kind of fun. Brad's done it all different ways. As far as all early, all of them throughout the draft. Find yourself doing a lot more with the rookies or spike guys like Eloy and Buxton, hoping on health and hitting big on value with those injury prone guys. Yeah, I mean I think that's the way to do it. If you're gonna if you're gonna have that kind of build, you have to assume that you're correct. Like the only way for it to work is you're correct. So if you're correct, you want to hit on these high upside guys, and the rest of it is just kind of gravy. Like I feel like if you nail a 5 outfielder build, like if you just completely nail all 5 of those guys, I think you're going to have a really hard time not advancing. All right. So we're up and we don't have any. I guess we do have pitchers. I'm not taking Stephen Kwan. I'm not taking Cedric Mullins. You know what? Let's do Joe Ryan. Let's see if we can get a couple pitchers here. Joe Ryan feels pretty good in this price. He's got some really good strikeout stuff. Gave up, if I'm thinking of the right guy, I believe he was a little home run prone last year. But starting with him feels pretty good. And then I'm just gonna, I can't stop doing it. The Carlos Rodon thing. He's another guy who, in some ways, similar to Trout. Huge if Rodon can stay healthy. Okay. If he can stay healthy, he is one of the most talented pitchers in baseball. So if he makes it through the whole season, like let's say he throws 160 innings, right? If he can throw 160 innings, he is an absolute nuke at that spot. But oh, buddy, that if is large. So I'm taking a huge gamble on him this year. I think I'm around like almost 30% across all of my entries with Rodon. It is mega scary and could completely and totally explode in my face. But again, just trying to draft as if you're right. If I'm correct on Rodon and he does stay healthy, he's going to be a problem. He's going to be a very high advancing player. Chip is in. Chip, thank you for stopping by, man. Appreciate you coming in. Might mess around and draft an 884. Why not? Honest to God, guys, there aren't many teams that you can build where I'm like, I would think, oh, that's a trash team. Like if you do an 884 as last 4 picks, Matt, I was just about to say, if you do an 884 with your outfielders, your last 4 picks, you're probably mega dead. But we don't know, man. We have no idea, no clue what's going to happen. So, Alan, Shimmy, Cocoa Pop, he's got Rodon as one of his highest owned pitchers too. There's very few builds where I'll look at it and I'll just be like, oh, that team is totally dead. That happens sometimes, but I feel like in this game, if you have a plan, right? If you're playing for a very specific set of circumstances to occur with that team, and you execute that draft correctly under those assumptions, to me, that's a successful draft. Honestly, if you execute what you're going for in any particular draft, it's a good draft. Will it advance? Does it have much of a chance? Given what we think is optimal, maybe not. But I feel like as long as you have reasoning behind a funky build like that and you construct it in a way that's smart, I don't have a problem with funky builds at all. Wu-Tang Killer Bees is in the house. Got here a little late, but not too late to leave a like on the video. Thank you so much, Matt. I really, really appreciate that. Yeah, guys, if you're here and if you haven't yet, if you could hit the like button, that'd be awesome. I'd appreciate it. If not, whatever, man. That's fine. I'm just here hanging out. Ah, shoot, I forgot to bring up the board, guys. I'm so sorry. You know, I've been doing a lot better this stream at that. All right, let's recap here. So since I went with Rodon at 86, Stephen Kwan went at 90. That's a little bit of a discount for him. Same with Mullins. It's kind of interesting. I don't know that I would have done it in this particular build, but you know, Shimmy goes with Wyatt Langford at 98. I really, I really wanted to luck out Brad and have him fall to me. That was going to be a gift for me to you. You know, just the Wyatt Langford pick. Let's get on board. But alas, our guy Allen takes him at 98. I have an odd amount of TJ Friedel in the bullpen, and I don't really know why. But kind of with my new mindset and trying to get more Wyatt Langford, like him going before Wyatt seems a little wild to me. So yeah. Let's keep an eye on where we're at here. 4 more picks. All right, so the build so far it's a 2-3-3. So Joe Ryan and Carlos Rodon. I love pairing those two guys together. I gotta look at my combinatorial ownerships. I might have them too much together, in which case I gotta work on that. Infield is Matt Olson, Ozzie Albies, and Manny Machado. And then the outfield is Kyle Tucker, Michael Harris, and Marcell Ozuna. With this next pick, if he's there, I know who I'm taking. If he's not there, I'm in shambles. I'm sad. I hate everything. I'm not taking Jackson Chourio here. I'm ready to be frustrated and annoyed and have my heart broken again by Eloy Jimenez. I just keep leaning into the guy has massive power. He does. It's there. It exists. Whether he can actually put it together is a completely different conversation. But let's go with Hunter Green here. Don't miss it. That was close. Got to get this clock thing figured out. Keep forgetting. Hunter Green feels great there. He's an ultimate spike guy. I find myself really gravitating towards these dudes who can have these spike weeks more so than floor guys. It doesn't mean I'm not drafting floor guys at all, but I'm leaning heavily into guys who can just strike people out. And it's one of the, it's kind of one of the things I've struggled with George Kirby. Like he's in a range. Let me pull up the board here. But George Kirby is in a range where he went really early in this draft. I think 56 is, well, I guess that's not horribly early, but he's in a range with Tyler Glasnow, Logan Webb, which is basically what George Kirby, but just like 5 years older or something. Tariq Skubal, Blake Snell, Kodai Senga's in that range. Dylan Cease, Logan Gilbert. Like I have a hard time buying into the George Kirby thing because he just does not have the strikeout rate that those guys have. I'm aware projection systems love him. He's the hot guy in fantasy this year, and he's going to be a great pitcher. I have no doubt in my mind about that. I've had trouble getting to him because I'm just prioritizing these higher strikeout guys. Alan saying Kirby is expensive. Merrill Kelly. That's probably going to get the chat going, my friend. But I see what you're saying there. I don't know. I'm going to get more Kirby. He's not a guy that I want to fade. The Discord has done a good job of convincing me that this very well could be a breakout year for him. But I'm still probably going to be under the field on him because I can't stop taking the guys around him. If I'm taking a pitcher, I want high strikeout guys. So whether that's believing in Skubal or thinking going to have one of those down years. Believing Dylan Cease can bounce back. Is this Freddie Peralta's year? Is this Grayson Rodriguez's year? Those are just guys I've been prioritizing over Kirby. So it's not a fade of the player more so than it's like, for me, it's a fade of the player at current ADP. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. He's the guy that's got me like the most vexed this year. So see what happens. I'll try to get more of him if I can, but I'm not gonna. If he keeps rising, I'm not gonna go with it. I'm just gonna commit to the bit and mostly fade and hope that he doesn't destroy me. Terrence, when Kirby throws 2 no-hitters, people will be speechless. I'll be one of those people. Yep, he can dunk all over me. There are a lot of bad teams this year. Chip, never early pitcher. I don't agree with that, my friend. I know the 0 pitcher thing is gained some steam. And it absolutely for sure can work, but I like having 1 or 2 just hammers in my staff. Chip, serious question, what do you consider an early pitcher? Like, what's the cutoff there? What's the latest round for it to be considered an early pitcher? Be curious what your thoughts are on that. Because I waited until, what round was it? Where am I? Here. I waited until round 7, which I think is, I think that's about as late as I want to wait to get my first pitcher in if I'm doing a standard build. If I'm doing a weird one where I want to do like an 8-6-6 or something, then I'll wait. But I like having an ace or 2. So we are about to be on the clock. And I really don't. This range really messes with me. I really don't know what to do here, guys. Let's do something a little funky. Let's go ahead and do Jackson Holiday. That's the first time I've drafted him so far. Again, please know I have been out on these prospects. Like, I wanted to see projection systems and stuff first before I committed to them. And like, I'm not jumping up for joy at the Jackson Holiday pick, but I definitely don't want to be at 0 on him. So let's just take him here and see what happens. And then let's go ahead and stack. Like, I'm not in love with Chas McCormick, but let's go ahead and stack him with Kyle Tucker. So that feels okay. Team so far is a 3-4-5 build. Joe Ryan, Carlos Rodon, Hunter Green are the pitchers. Infield is Matt Olson, Ozzie Albies, Manny Machado, and Jackson Holiday. In the outfield is Kyle Tucker, Michael Harris, Marcell Ozuna, Eloy Jimenez, and Chas McCormick. I think this team's okay so far. I like the 4-man Atlanta stack. That always feels pretty lovely. Let's see. Chip 5 stay pick 69. Brad is celebrating Shimmy's drafting of Wyatt Langford. Also, why draft any pitcher before Bailey Ober when he is the best pitcher? I have quite a bit of him, actually, especially in the bullpen. Here's Chip's answer. He'll take some early, but prefer punting pitcher. Hold on. Let me get the draft board back up. I'm sorry, guys. I'll finish that comment in a second. Okay. Take some early pitcher, but prefer punting pitcher. Also reeling from the one early-ish guy like Nsinga with arm fatigue, but early pitcher for me is one in the first 5 rounds. Okay. And I agree with you. I think that's a very reasonable, first pitcher range. earlier contests, I was starting a lot of builds like 1-2-2 or 1-1-3. I would always get a pitcher, not always, but a lot of times I would get a pitcher in the first 5 rounds. But we've lost a couple of guys that I thought were values, like Kyle Bradish. I need to look up how to pronounce his name. It's one of the two. Kodai Senga now questionable. Yeah, I like trying to get at least 1 or 2 guys round 7. Jackson Holiday confirmed worked on his biceps this off season. As ridiculous as the biceps chat has been so far, that is 100% correct. He has been trying to get stronger. I wasn't sure. I'm not like the prospects guy, right? But I'm not sure if he has much power, but it's good to see that he wants to incorporate more power into his game. That can only be a good thing. Jewish McCaffrey asking Darvish, are you in or out? Very creative. I love it. This is kind of weird. So bullpen, I have 0. I did 115 drafts in the bullpen. I have none. Absolutely 0. And then I get into the 2023 contests, and I'm at like 20%. It may not be 20%, but I've clicked on him quite a bit. So I guess I'm in on him now. But, Darvish is 30. He's 38, isn't he? Which, that's a scary age for pitchers. So I think this is probably it for him. Probably his last hurrah. Like, we'll see. I don't know. The guy's mega talented, always has been. I can't believe he's 38. I feel like he's been in the majors for like 27 years, though. Matt chiming in, theoretically, you cool Chaz as an outfield 4 and a 5 outfield build. Doesn't he feel like a nice, just kind of safe floor play? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but we know he's going to play every day, right? Like that's been confirmed. So if that's true, it's hard not to like him as a decent floor play. It feels kind of like a cheaper version of like a Randy or Rosarena. I don't know that he has much spike potential, but he can hit 25 home runs and steal 25 bags with full playing time. I'm cool with that as a 4th outfielder in. Chip likes Bailey Ober too. I haven't gotten as much of him in the Dinger because his price kind of increased a little bit. But I was drafting him quite a bit in the bullpen when he was basically free. Brad's lobbing allegations here. He's not a full anti-early pitcher guy like Brad, so he takes a safe answer. This sound like fighting words. Brad, when's the earliest you want to take a pitcher? Serious question. You think about that while I pull up the draft. All right. We're going to take, oh man, I need pitchers, but you know what? I can't pass up Vinny Pasquantino here. I can't do it. I love that value on him. Me and this dude at the end are going to be fighting for pitching here late at the end here. I already know what I'm doing. Don't even need to think about it. Just in case this dude is watching, very, very, very unlikely that that's happening. But just in case, I'm just going to stand here. I'm not going to move. We'll do. Okay, here we go. He goes read that first. The man of the hour. Let's do it. Bailey Ober. Here we go. Breakout season incoming. Hopefully. God, hopefully. We've been talking about him a little bit. I like it. Brad's warning me to be careful with you, Darvish. Let me pull up the draft board real quick. I keep forgetting to do that. I've been doing better, but now I'm tailing off. I'm trash. Okay, here we go. And all right. This Jake Berger rise has been something to witness. Long gone are the days when he was free, just completely free. In the range that he's in now, he's kind of a decision point. But man, when he was going in the 200s, like, good lord. Our guy Bjorn Masterson, thank you for stopping in, man. Appreciate you. Any concern over Yuri Perez reported innings management this season? I don't. They're not going to do something illogical and do like a 120 innings thing, right? Like, isn't his limit just going to be what, 150? I don't know. We're completely guessing. How are they going to get him there? Are they going to maybe go with like a 5.5 man rotation on occasion? Are they going to start him slowly? Are they going to end him slowly? I don't know. I truly don't know. The guy's mega talented. Yuri Perez is mega talented. So just kind of, I am not clicking on him as much right now. But Alan makes the point I was just about to say. Even if they shut Yuri down in the middle of August, that's the end of this contest. So I think that's kind of the range we're thinking here is like what, 140, 150 innings. I mean, if he does that and they don't, I don't know, cost him innings before they just shut him down for the rest of the year, he's totally fine. It's just how are they gonna manage that, you know? Brad, I mean, to do every over anything before 80 is early. Then there's a clear break. Yeah, with pitchers, I agree. JMC asking what my thoughts are on Brian Wu. I kind of okay. So I compare him to Bryce Miller because they're on the same team. It appears that Wu has better strikeout stuff, but I know that Bryce Miller has been working on a splitter, working on a new pitch. I'm pretty sure it's a splitter. A lot of pitchers are working on splitters right now. So if Miller's K rate jumps, then I think he takes the edge over Wu. But like if we go with just last year's capabilities, I think I like Wu a little bit more just for the strikeout upside. Seattle has the best playoff schedule. Are you talking about, I assume you're talking about from a pitching standpoint, Terrence? And that's the stuff, you know, I feel like I haven't really looked at that all too much, the playoff schedule. I don't want to get lost in that and focus too much on it for drafting because the fact of the matter is, guys, like when we get to the playoffs, it's just a complete free for all. Whatever happens. But pitching and hitting, but there definitely is, of course, something to, you know, trying to set yourself up to be as successful as possible in the playoffs. I don't want to lean into that too much. And who knows? You know, you say it's unbelievable the final 2 weeks, like maybe a team or two that they're playing happens to overachieve and it's not as much of a cakewalk. I haven't looked at the schedule. So like if they're playing the White Sox and then the A's and then the Rockies in succession, like that's just a trash festival. So that'll be interesting. Take a look at it. I will. I won't do it on stream, but I'll take a peek at that for my own knowledge. Gosh darn it. I didn't have the board up again. Ugh. You guys can yell at me if I keep doing that. Just say, hey, moron, put up the board. Josh Naylor at 0. He goes at 162. I want to have an actual conversation about him. Am I a donkey for not liking Josh Naylor? I can't get on board with him. I can't. I'm just not. He's just not the guy for me. But please feel free to let me know if I'm a donkey for that. All right. Oh man. What to do? I can't stop clicking Eugenio Suarez. The Diamondbacks are my favorite offense in this format this year. They are so easy to stack. And they have the potential to be exceedingly dangerous this year. Uh, so I have a lot of all of them. If I look at my exposures, I'm guessing that's probably the team that I have the most of. And this one's for one of our guys in the Discord, Gavin Williams. I've been getting more of him. This dude's a pretty big time prospect. Cleveland just churns out pitching year in and year out. And I'm kind of lighter than I want to be at this point in pitching, but nothing egregious. So yeah, going Suarez and Gavin Williams back to back there, I think that feels pretty good. So let's recap the team real quick, and I'll pull up the board. I won't forget, I promise. So right now we're through 16 rounds, a 5-6-5 build. Joe Ryan, Carlos Rodon, Hunter Green, Bailey Ober, and Gavin Williams. And then the infield is Olson Albies, Machado, Jackson Holiday, Vinny Pasquantino, and Eugenio Suarez. Probably gonna stop at 6 there. We'll see. And then the outfield is Kyle Tucker, Michael Harris, Marcelo Ozuna, Eloy Jimenez, and Chas McCormick. What are your guys' thoughts with this build that I have currently? Do I turn off infield and go 7-6-7, or do I go 8-6-6? 8-6-6. Speaking of donkey picks, what about Squirrels and Mets and Tigers pitchers in the last round? I look, man, with last round pitchers, you could pick almost anybody not named Eric Fed, and I would say, I see it. I get it. But yeah, Manaya and Severino are fun. Jack Flaherty does feel really gross, but I was I was very, very heavily in on him last year. And it didn't go great, but it just like I feel like we always think about what Jack Flaherty used to be, and it's always like this, okay, but what if he figures it out? I don't know that he's gonna figure it out. But man, if he does, he's a smash. Last round pitchers I've been looking at. I've been clicking on Edward Cabrera, Griffin Canning, Christopher Sanchez a little bit earlier. I think he's out of that last pick consideration. I could see myself clicking on Kenta Maeda or Jack Flaherty. I think I've got a Severino share. I'm not drafting Manaya. I don't know that I believe him, but I don't fault you for doing it. I just think that 20th round pitcher is just such a complete crapshoot. Like, I don't want to overcommit to any one guy because it feels like they could all be ass, or like 2 of them could shine. I don't really want to be in a position where I'm like counting on that 7th guy, that 7th pitcher in the last round. But I don't know. Brad, OMG, shots fired. I'm guessing that's about the Eric Fed comment. Yeah, I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. I don't care if you change stuff up. I refuse to believe it. And also, the White Sox are not a serious organization, so that's probably my own biases coming in there. He's not going to bury me. If I fade Eric Fed, he's not just going to completely bury me. There's no way that happens. And if it does, then you know what? I'll just take my L and move on. Seattle's final 2-week stretch: Tampa Bay with no aces, Anaheim, then Oakland. Yeah, that's pretty lovely. Unfortunately, they're going to have to face the MVP, Mike Trout. Tampa, let's move on. Always scares me just because they know how to bring guys from out of nowhere. Yeah, and I mean, Caminero might be up by then. He's got some serious pop. Brandon Lau, guys, he's going to stay healthy all year. He's going to hit 40 bombs. That's going to happen. Just write it in stone, etch it in stone, please. That, or I'll be poor again. So Bad city and bad team. Oh shoot, I'm about to be on the clock here. I did see a comment about the build here. Matt thinks 767 with this one. That's kind of where that's what I'm thinking. So let's see what we've got. Let's turn off infield. Uh, I don't like it. I'm gonna waste a pick and go with Alek Manoah. I don't want to miss him actually not being terrible. I don't like that pick. So let's be very, very clear. I panicked, and there's not a single simulation you can run where I'm drafting Andrew Benintendi. So, yeah, I don't know. That didn't feel very good. Moving on, let's do. Screw it. I'm going to take Nelson Velasquez to stack with Vinny just because I don't know. He probably will come back to me, but just in case, I don't know. I'm just going to take a guy who has massive, massive pop. The tail end of this draft has not gone how I would really want it to. And it's partially my fault for not really paying attention to like who's up here. I don't really love these two guys at these prices. So you can make fun of me for those bad picks if they're bad. Yeah, I see. I know Manoah he's risen a little bit. I mean, the fact that I took him in round 17, I mean, that's more of a me problem. But like he physically, here we go, that shape of his life. I wasn't gonna say that, but he looks good, right? He's trimmed down a little bit. And man, I just like can you guys remember a time when we've seen a guy do this in 1 year? So 2022, 16 wins, 25 quality starts, 196 innings, 180 Ks, 49 earned runs, 1,193 underdog points. Can you remember a time we had a guy do this and then come out the next year and without injury, right? He wasn't hurt. He was just like a different level of atrocious. If you guys can pull a comp for that, I'll be impressed. At this price, he doesn't need to be this guy. He doesn't need to be 2022. If we believe that talent was real and we want to make a bet that he could bounce back and be in that same, I don't know, even 80% of that, then he feels like a pretty good value. I am not leaning hard into the Alek Manoah thing at all. But he just feels like a guy, especially with this build that I have where I'm just trying to fill out 2 last pitchers. I'm willing to roll the dice on him in this particular build. So are the people in on Manoah again? I mean, he's rising. Matt thinks at least there it's not a waste. I appreciate that. Brad's trying to make me break something. They're saying he should have drafted Fetty. Yeah, I could have done that if I hate myself. JMC probably single-handedly moved his ADP up around. Yeah, I mean, he's there. The big guy struggled with the pitch clock. That absolutely could be part of it. Him and home run derby Lance Land come to mind. I kind of agree with this, Brad. It was infuriating to watch game in and game out. And you know, my whole thesis behind him last year, this is actually kind of funny. Every time I drafted him, I was like justifying it. I was like, there's no way the home run rate's got to drop because it was like 6 home runs per 9 innings or something in 2022 because he was hurt for he missed quite a bit of time. I was like, there's no way that has to regress and get better. and can confirm it didn't get much better. And he gave up a crap ton of home runs. But he didn't he have the start with the most strikeouts last season? Yeah. JMC got killed in weekly head-to-heads. Yeah, they're both, you know, kind of bigger guys. Lance Lynn pulled up to spring training in a I think it was a pink Bronco. True badass fashion. They both seem to be laboring early in the season. Yeah, I mean, Lance Lynn's up there in age. Oh crap, we're on the clock, guys. Oh no. Oh no, Brian. Let's do the Matt Wallner thing. The Discord loves Matt Wallner, so this is for you, Discord guys. All right, pitcher. Who are we taking with the last pitcher? Don't say Eric Fed. Do not say. If I had a way to X out a guy, like I wish I could do that, just completely remove him from the player pool for myself. I'm gonna do this quick. Let's queue up Cabrera, Canning. Is it Aaron Ashby season, guys? Frankie Montas? What do you think? Out of these four, quickly, at 14. Dean Kramer? Is he still there? Nope, he's not there. All right, we're just gonna pump the Edward Cabrera bags, guys. Ran out of time. The dude is mega wild, but walks don't really hurt us in this format. The runs that score because of the walks definitely do. Yeah, Matt, I was gonna do that, Dean Kramer, for you. You know, you came in hot with the suggestion. I appreciate that. I have no idea where he went. Let's find out. He went at 216. Is that where he's going now? Are we that in on Dean Kramer now? 221 is his ADP. Okay. I do have a question. Why? Noah. That's right. Look, man, I'm trying to, draft from the 11 spot. I gotta think quick. I gotta make spot picks. My camera, my clock is all effed up, so I only have 15 seconds to make a pick. It's all shambles. But yes, the woo woo caboose. I love that for the last pick. Today's woo woo caboose was Edward Cabrera. A very common pick for me. Let's bring up the board again because I forgot to do it. Yelling at myself. All right. We're gonna wait till this ends. JMC has, guys, why is Matt Chapman being drafted in the 20th round? I mean, I'm cool with it. I'll just keep clicking his name. I will keep clicking Matt Chapman's name and I won't stop. But him being in 20th round is absurd. So I need to know why that's happening. So this guy's going to end, and then I'll get it pulled back up, and we'll recap the team, and then we'll look at a couple friends who are in the chat here. JMC, we'll take a look at your team. Shimmy, we'll take a look at yours. If you do not want me to pull up your team, just let me know. I don't want to give away the secret sauce. All right, let me refresh. Yep, this is it. There now. Okay. So here's the team. Finished with a 7-6-7 build, picked in the 11 hole. The pitchers: Joe Ryan, Carlos Rodon, Hunter Green, Bailey Ober, Gavin Williams, Alek Manoah, and Edward Cabrera. What I see here are mega upside guys, and then like two kind of safer dudes in the middle. I have to get something out of at least one of these two guys, Manoah or Cabrera, for this to work. And that's assuming Rodon stays healthy. Infield, Matt Olson, Ozzy Albies, Manny Machado, Jackson Holiday, first time I've drafted him. Vinny Pasquantino, 90th time I've drafted him. And Eugenio Suarez, 95th time I've drafted him. I don't know those numbers are accurate, but it's a lot. Outfield, Kyle Tucker, Michael Harris, Marcell Ozuna, Eloy Jimenez, Chas McCormick, Nelson Velasquez, and Matt Wallner. Two very speculative outfield plays at the end there. I feel like, if I nail the first four outfielders here, the rest is just kind of cake. We'll see what happens there. So, honest assessments, guys. You can do 1 out of 10 rating, 10 being the best, 1 not. Roofing Man, he wants me to roast his. Who are you in the draft? Watch you be Roofing Man in the draft. Oh yeah, you are. There you are. Hey, cool. You made that easy for me. Appreciate it. All right. Roofing Man. He's got the badge stuff going on. He's got the goat avatar. Okay. I don't know if I've seen you, man. I don't recognize that name. So I don't know if you're new to the MLB best ball streets, or if I'm just an idiot and didn't see you, but thank you for popping in. Appreciate it. He went with a 7-7-6 build from the 6th spot. His pitching staff is Pablo Lopez, Jesus Luzardo, Tanner Bybee. I think it's Bybee. Lucas Giolito, Brian Bayo, Seth Lugo, and John Gray. The infield is Bryce, Marcus Semien, Nathaniel Lowe, Xander Bogaerts, Hassan Kim, Alec Boehm, and Brandon Drury. And then the outfield is Tatis Castellanos, Carter Churio, JD Martinez, and Sal Frelick. It's an interesting team. I want to see how your draft went here. Quickly scrolling through the board. Yeah, I mean, like I said, you'd be hard pressed to convince me like any team is bad as long as the build makes sense. This is an interesting team. I have not drafted Bayo at all this year. I really liked him last year, but then he didn't strike anybody out, and I was like, is that real, or can he strike guys out? You got some guys who should eat up some innings, as Seth Lugo and John Gray, to kind of round it out. Nathaniel Lowe ahead of ADP. I assume that was primarily to do the stack, probably. He's a really boring pick, but I mean, he just kind of feels like a dude who's going to get you like 1,300 points in the most boring way possible with his terrible mustache. So, little mini stack with San Diego. Actually, a 3-man stack because you have Tatis. Sorry. Yeah, you've got some minis. You've got some stacking going on. That's an interestingly built team, especially from a stacking perspective. Let's take a look at JMC's. He's sad he didn't do stacking here. Chapman to the KBO to play against Manoah. Brad, if that happens, I'm off. I'm off the scene. I'm deleting everything. It's all gone. Noah's ribbing me. Not enough Blue Jays today. Yeah, enough Blue Jays is 0 for me apparently this year. I don't know why. JMC didn't stack well and has the most injury-prone outfield on planet Earth. I really can't wait to see this. Noah, will you stop it with the Blue Jays thing? Okay, I thought we were friends. So shut up. Okay, JMC drafted from the 5 position, 7-7-6 build. Glasnow, Grayson, Justin Steele, Hunter Brown, Christian Javier, Nick Pivetta, and Tristan McKenzie. That staff is sexy. Just a good looking group of men right there. I like that. I can't wait to see this outfield. Infield, Bo Bichette, Royce Lewis, Carlos Correa, Nolan Gorman, Andrew Vaughn, Christian Encarnacion Strand, and then Matt Chapman. And then we've got Shohei, Trout, Luis Robert, Cedric Mullins, Byron Buxton, and Starling Marte. Yeah, you should name this team Everything Hurts and I'm Dying. Because, like, we got Royce Lewis, who probably unrightfully so is associated with injuries. Nolan Gorman's back always hurts. Correa has foot issues. Dude, I gotta be honest with you. I think this team's pretty nasty. I'm out on Starling Marte. I think maybe I get back in on him, but I think that this is a very, very well built team, and I'm concerned that it's in this pod. So that's well done. Yeah, Terrence, I think that you'll label this team the IL on your app. I think that's wise, dude. If you get the injury stuff to break your way and you don't have injury issues, my God, that team's pretty nasty. And let's take a look at our friend T Bear's team here. He was in the 9-hole. He went with Jordan to start. He had a 7.76 build. So he went Jordan Strider. I love that pairing. So Strider, Musgrove, Merrill Kelly, Shota Imanaga. I need to get more of him. Bryce Miller, Mackenzie Gore, and Sean Manaea. Then the infield is Altuve, Torkelson, Marte, Steer, Berger, Rowley, and France. Nice little Seattle stack there. And then the outfield is Jordan, Nolan Jones, Anthony Santander, Teoscar, Giancarlo, and Brian Dela Cruz. I think this is another pretty solidly built team. I don't have any, Stanton or Dela Cruz, but I understand the picks at least. Cal Raleigh going at 225. That's interesting. I like the mini Seattle stack to finish it off. That's pretty cool. I love your infield, your pitching staff. Any pitching staff with Strider, like you really have to try to screw up a pitching staff with Strider. And I don't think he screwed this one up. So this is a good team too. Again, like truly, unless someone does like a 10-5-5 build or something, there's not many teams where I can be like, oh, that's trash. I could see the justification behind so many different builds, combinations of guys. Noah asking, anyone here seeing weird builds at work? Haven't seen too many 5-pitcher builds. My thoughts on a 5-pitcher build, and let me know what you guys think. Also, guys, if you're here still, you've had a good time. I really hope you have. I've had a blast. So thank you guys for coming out. If you could hit that like button, I'd appreciate it. I haven't done as many 5-pitcher builds as I thought I would, Noah. I think that if you do a 5-pitcher build, you have to do it by committing massive draft capital to the position. So, like starting with the Strider and then, having your 5th pitcher by round like 8, I want to say 8 or 9. That feels like the only way that it could work to me. Because like if you're going to do 5 pitchers, you need 5 absolute hammers, and then you need them to stay healthy. That's just how I would do it. That's how I have done it. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. But it seems like a decent way to build. So, all right. With that, I think I'm gonna shut her down. Again, well, JMC with a comment here real quick. Haven't tried it yet, but need to do a few 9-5-6 where I start infield, wait to take a picture until the 10th round. Yeah, I like those builds too. I really do. Just if you're gonna do something funky, do it right. Like, don't half-ass it. If you're gonna be really, really fragile at a position, go all in. Just get absolute mashers if you're gonna do 5 infielders or whatever. Don't dip the toe in. Just dive in. So, thank you for the compliment. Solid stream. Appreciate you, JMC, as always. Terrence, thank you for coming in. Noah, Matt, Brad, all you guys. Roofing Man, thank you for stopping in. I think I got everybody. If not, I'm sorry. I'm scrolling up. The chat was really active tonight, which is awesome. That makes things so much more fun for me. And I hope it makes it fun for you guys too. So thank you for being here. It was a fun draft. Went really well. The team is decent. And we'll see what happens, guys. So thank you again. Good luck to everybody. We'll see you on the next one. All right. My name is Jason, aka Woo Woo J Train. This is Off the Rails. And we'll be back again probably sometime next week. All right. Take care. Have a good night.